नमो ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय
जय
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज की जय
जय
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय
जय
फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय
जय
नाम आचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय
जय
प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वासुदेव गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय वृंदावन धाम की जय मथुरा धाम की जय मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी क्षेत्र की जय गंगा माई की जय यमुना माई की जय तुलसी देवी की जय भक्ति देवी की जय संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की जय बृहत मृदंगा की जय प्रेम गौरानंदे हरि हरि बोल all glories to assembled devotees
Hare Krishna
all glories to assembled devotees
Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna all glories to assembled devotees
Hare
Hare Krishna all glories to Sri Sri Guru Gauranga ki jai.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna Let us start with the sloka. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Nama Acharya Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Sarvadam Swakada Krishna Punya Sravana Kirtana Hridayantastho Yavadhani Vidu Nodi Zorat Satam Nashta Prayesha Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om
Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya
Vasudevaya.
Hare Krishna. So today's we are going to discuss about verses 8 and 9 in the chapter 12, birth of Emperor Parikshit Maharaj. So 1.12.8 Angushtamatram amalam spurat purata maulinam api vyadharshanam shyamam tadvidvasasam achyutam Angushtamatram amalam spurat purata maulinam api vyadharshanam shyamam tadvidvasasam achyutam Angushtamatram amalam spurat purata maulinam api vyadharshanam shyamam tadvidvasasam achyutam. Prabhuji 9 please go to me. श्रीमद्दीर्घचतुर्बाहुं दत्तकाञ्चनकुण्डलं चददाक्षं गदापाणिम् आत्मनः सर्वतो दिशं परिभ्रमन्तं वुल्काभं भ्रमयन्तं गदां मुहुः श्रीमद्दीर्घचतुर्बाहुं दत्तकाञ्चनकुण्डलं शतदाक्षं गदापाणिम् आत्मनः सर्वतो दिशं परिभ्रमन्तं वुल्काभां भ्रमयन्तं गदां मुहुः श्रीमद्दीर्घचतुर्बाहुं दत्तकाञ्चनकुण्डलं शतदाक्षं गदापाणिम् आत्मनः सर्वतो दिशं Paribhramantam vulkabham brahmayantam gadamuhu. Hare Krishna, please recite.
Which one we are supposed to recite, Prabhu?
Ninth one, Mataji. Please.
Eighth one?
Yeah.
Eighth or ninth?
Anyone is fine, whatever is.
No, you just tell us because we all
Please read ninth, Mataji.
Kaivalya Prabhu is there.
Yes. Which one to recite, 8 or 9?
He says either one, but
yeah.
no.
Okay, I'm deciding.
Mataji said if there are two slokas,
normally we do 8.
Normally the first one is recited. Yeah. So okay.
Okay.
Angushtamatram amalam ispurat purat maulinam apivya darshanam shamam tadidda vasasam achyutam.
Angushtamatram amalam spurat purata maulinam apivya darshanam shamam tadid vasasam achyutam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Angushtamatram amalam spurat puttaramaulinam apivya darshanam shyamam tadidvasasamachutam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Angushtamatram amalam aspura purata maulinam apibhya darsanam syamam tarid vasasam achyutam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone wants to recite? Will you please scroll down, Prabhuji? Yeah. Synonyms. Angusta, by the measure of a thumb. Matram, only. Amalam, transcendental. Spurat, blazing. Purata, gold. Maulinam, helmet. Apivya, very beautiful. Darshanam, to look at. Shyamam, blackish. Tadid, lightning. Vasasam, clothing. Achyutam, the infallible, the Lord. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He, the Lord, was only thumb high, but He was all transcendental. He had a very beautiful, blackish, infallible body, and He wore a dress of lightning yellow and a helmet of blazing gold. Thus He was seen by the child. On 1.12.9 synonyms. Srimad, enriched. Dirgha, prolonged. Chatupahum, four-handed. Tapta Kanchana, molten gold. Kundalam, earrings. Chadadaksham, eyes with the redness of blood. Gadapani, hand with a club. Atmanaha, Om. Sarvataha, all. Disham, around. Paribhramantam, loitering. Ulkavam, liking shooting stars. Brahmayantam, encircling. Gadam, the club, Moho, constantly. Translation. The Lord was enriched with 4 hands, earrings of molten gold, and eyes blood red with fury. As he loitered about, his club constantly encircled him like a shooting star. Purport. It is said in the Brahma Samhita, Chapter 5, that the Supreme Lord Govinda, by his one plenary portion, enters into the halo of the universe and distributes himself as Paramatma, or the Super Soul, not only within the heart of every living being, but also within every atom of the material elements. Thus, Lord is all-pervading by his inconceivable potency, and thus he entered the womb of Uttara to save his beloved devotee, Maharaj Parikshit. In the Bhagavad Gita 9.31, the Lord assured everyone that his devotees are never to be vanquished. No one can kill a devotee of the Lord because he is protected by the Lord. No one can save a person whom the Lord desires to kill. The Lord is all-powerful, and therefore he can both save and kill as he likes. He became visible to his devotee Maharaja Parikshit, even in that awkward position in the womb of his mother, in a shape just suitable for his vision. The Lord can become bigger than thousands of universes and can become smaller than an atom at the same time. Merciful as he is, he becomes just suitable to the vision of unlimited living being. He is unlimited. He is not limited by the measurement of our calculation. He can become bigger than what we can think of, and he can become smaller than what we can conceive. But in all circumstances, he is the same all-powerful Lord. There is no difference between the thumb-like Vishnu in the womb of Uttara and the full-fledged Narayana in the Vaikuntha Dhama, the kingdom of Godhead. He accepts the form of Archa Vigraha, worshipable deity, just to accept service from his different incapable devotees. By the mercy of the Archa Vigraha, the form of the Lord in material elements, the devotees who are in the material world can easily approach the Lord, although he is not conceivable by the material senses. The Archa Vigraha is therefore an all-spiritual form of the Lord to be perceived by the material devotees. Such an Archa Vigraha of the Lord is never to be considered material. There is no difference between matter and spirit for the Lord, although there is a gulf of difference between the two in the case of the conditioned living being. For the Lord, there is nothing but spiritual existence, and similarly, there is nothing except spiritual existence for the pure devotee of the Lord in his intimate relation with the Lord. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuhu Unmilitam Mena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Gurun Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Sacha Sri Rupam Sakra Jatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sadevam Sa Advaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitam Sacha Om Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratvishe Namah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesya Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namustute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpa Taro Vascha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasari Kaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Mukam karoti vacharam pangum nangayate girim yatkrupatamaham vande Sri Gurum Tirtharam. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining. We started with this 12th chapter, Birth of Emperor Parikshit, the first canto. And today, so we are going to discuss about two verses, verse 8 and verse 9. So verse 8, it starts with Angushta Matram Amalam Purat Purata Maulinam Abhiva Darshanam Shyamam Tadid Vasasam Achyutam. Actually, these two slokas explains excellent bodily features of Krishna. Actually, which we can meditate on as part of Smaranam process in Navavida Bhakti. When we are chanting, we can meditate on the Lord with these excellent features. Those are explained in these two verses. We will discuss in detail. So here Sudha Goswami starts this verse with Angushta Matram. So here the Lord becoming measure of thumb. So Lord can do anything. So we'll discuss more about this later. So here Lord by becoming a measure of thumb, so he entered the womb of Uttara. And here it is mentioned Amalam. So even though he became a measure of thumb, he is still Amalam. Malam means contaminated. So malam we also use for like stool, right? Malam means contaminated. Amalam means which is not contaminated. Lord is transcendental. Here even malam means which is affected with three modes of material nature. But amalam means Lord is above the three modes of material nature. So he is transcendental. He is not at all affected by three modes of nature, material nature. And Purata Maulinam. Purat blazing and Purata gold Maulina helmet. Lord, he wore the blazing gold helmet. And the Lord is always, whenever we see in most of the pictures, Lord is always having the helmet. Even in temples, Lord is wearing the helmet, kind of small crown, most of the times. So Lord is always covered with the helmet. So that is gold helmet. And Apivya Darshanam. Apivya is very beautiful. So the Parishit Maharaj is seeing the very beautiful form of Krishna. We know, right, how much beautiful Krishna is. In Brahma Samhita we read Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Visesha Soham. Visesha means unique. That Shobham, that loveliness, Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Visesha Soham. Kamaniya means which charms, Kandarpa Koti, millions of cubits. So that is the beauty of Krishna. Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Visesha Soham. So here the Parikshit Maharaj is seeing the very beautiful form of Krishna. Darshanam, he is looking at. Shama. So that same Krishna is Shama, he is blackish. And we know in Brahma Samhita, so Krishna's beautiful form is mentioned. Asita Ambuda Sundarangam. Asita means the blue, Ambuda means clouds. So his beauty of the figure of beauty of Krishna is filled with color of blue clouds. So he is actually a bluish blackish color. For example, if you see mass of blue clouds on the sky, you feel like a soothing or pleasant view, right? You feel like, oh, it is very beautiful. So, but we cannot compare anything in this material world with Krishna, but somehow there has to be some comparison. Otherwise, a conditioned living being cannot understand what Krishna is, what Krishna's color is. So the complexion of Krishna is that of a spiritual dark blue color. So bluish, blackish color. And Tadit Vasasam. Tadit Vasasam. Tadit means lightening, Vasasam clothing. So he wore the beautiful yellow garment. Srila Prabhupada in translation mentions he wore a dress of lightening yellow. So Krishna is always Pitambaravasi, Pitambaradhari. We know in many of the places in Bhagavatam, Krishna is described with Pita Vasasam. So he is always wearing Pitambara. So Pitambara, Pita means yellow, Ambara means cloth. So this yellow is very auspicious, actually, very auspicious color. So Krishna, because Krishna is wearing, it became auspicious, of course. And next, Achyutam. He is infallible. He is the infallible Lord. So although number of avatars emanate from Krishna as Vishnu Tattvas or as separated particles, as living beings, he is still intact and full. We know Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avasishyate. So he is always full. Even though number of avatars emanate from him, he is still full. So he is always intact. And coming to the text 9, Srimad Dirga Chaturbahum. Srimad, enriched Dirga, prolonged Chaturbahum. So the four-handed form of Krishna here. So Vasudeva Krishna is now sometimes is visible in 2 hands, sometimes in 4 hands. here he is visible to the Parikshit in the four hand form. So the Lord was enriched with 4 hands, and Chaturbahum Tapta Kanchana Kundalam. Tapta Kanchana. Tapta means molten, Kanchana gold, Kundalam earrings. So Tapta is like a melted gold. It is not just mentioned like a Kanchana Kundalam. It is mentioned like a Tapta Kanchana Kundalam. The same is used for Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi. So for the Srimati Radharani, Mother Srimati Radharani is described with Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, molten gold complexion. For example, I don't know if you have ever seen, but when the gold is melted, like so at the final process of gold making, so to remove the some uncontaminated things within the gold, they melt the gold above 600, I think 1600 centigrade heat, and by adding some chemicals to it, they will heat the gold, and in this process, those uncontaminated things would go away from the gold, and the pure gold will remain. Still, there is some more process, but when the gold is melted at that heat, it looks very, very beautiful. That is why tapa means hot, very hot, right? The dhatu word for tapta is tapa. So tapta kanchana, so very, very heat. At that stage, the gold looks very, very beautiful. So here the Krishna is wearing the kundalam earrings, tapta kanchana kundalam. So even Mother Radharani, Srimati Radharani, his complexion is that tapta kanchana gaurangi. Very, very beautiful. And Shatadaksham next. So eyes with the redness of blood. Actually, Kshat is the root word for this Shata is wound, like Kshatriya, Hati. Shat actual meaning is wound, and also it is bloody. So here the Lord's eyes are compared with the redness of blood. Shatadakshajam. Actually, we know whether Lord is red eyes or anything. Lord's glance is always cool. He is Aravinda Dhalayataksham. Aravinda Dhala is he has a blooming eyes like lotus petals. That is the description of Lord's eyes in most of the places. So whether Lord's eyes are red or whether Aravinda Dhala anything, so Lord's glance is always as cool as the lotus eyes. So and actually which is soothing to devotees. That is why Lord's eye glance is also called as Kataksha. In Srimad Bhagavatam 3rd chapter, when Lord Kapila was instructing to Mother Devahuti about devotional service, he was giving some instructions how to meditate on the Lord's eyes to the Mother Devahuti. So he says, Kapila, Lord Kapila, he is himself the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He says, Tasya avalokam adhikam krupaya atigora tapatraya upashamanam. So the tapatraya upashamanam, atigora tapatraya upashamanam. Atigora means the most fearful. Tapatraya means threefold miseries. So the Lord's glance gives the relief from the most fearful threefold miseries for the devotees. Tapatraya, we know, Adidevika, Adibodhika, Adhyatmika, threefold miseries. Adidevika, miseries caused by the demigods, like floods and catastrophes, earthquakes. And Adibodhika, miseries caused by other living entities. And Adhyatmika, miseries caused by our own mind and body. And here, the Parikshit Maharaj is facing the misery of the Adibodhika. So Ashwadhama, he has sent this Brahmastra to kill the Parikshit Maharaj. So Krishna is here to save him from that Brahmastra. So Adibhotika, the misery is caused by Ashwadhama. So Krishna is now with his eyes is going to save Parikshit Maharaj from this Adibhotika misery. So with his beautiful eyes, Shalraksham, eyes with the redness of blood. And the next one is Gadapanim Atmanaha. Gadapani. So he has hand with the club, and Atmanaha won Sarvataha all this. So he is he was like loitering. Krishna was loitering here and moving here and there, and his club Paribhramantam Ulkhavam Brahmayantam Gadamuhu. So Krishna, as he is moving here and there, that is how the Parikshit Maharaj is saying the Krishna, and his club constant, his Gada, Kaumodaki Gada of Krishna, his club constantly encircled him like a shooting star, Ulkhavam. So this is the vision that Parikshit Maharaj has in the womb of Uttara. So that is why one like Parikshit Maharaj is a very great devotee, so fortunate, and is seeing that Krishna in the womb of his mother. And actually, when Parikshit Maharaj was born, after the Parikshit Maharaj was born, so we come to know that in the later slokas in this chapter, he was like kind of like examining here and there as soon as he come out from the womb of mother. He was looking for that form that he has seen in the womb. This form he has seen in the womb. He was like kind of examining here and there. That is why he has got the name Parikshit. Parikshit means examining. So he's a very great devotee of Krishna. So here other bodily features are not mentioned, but we know Krishna wears Vaijayanti Mala, he has a Kaustubha jewel, and he has this Srivatsamat on his chest. And in the original form of Krishna, he is Dvibhuja, he is two-handed, and he is Trivangi, he has three-bent form, and he has a flute in his hand. So these are the very beautiful bodily features of Krishna. These are described here. We can meditate upon these bodily features when we are chanting or when we are temples. Very, very beautiful to meditate on these bodily features of Krishna. They would purify us. They would just meditating upon these excellent bodily features of Krishna would purify us. And now coming to purport. So Srila Prabhupada starts with that Supreme Lord Govinda, by his one plenary portion, enters into the halo of the universe and distributes himself as Paramatma. So we know Lord enters everyone's heart as super soul. Isvara Sarva Bhutana Vruddese Tishtati Arjuna. Sarvascha Aham Hrudi Sannivishto. Krishna is there in everyone's heart, every living entity's heart. And he is actually the soul of the soul. So our soul will not work without the Krishna's intervention. Like unless we are activated by the Krishna soul, our soul will not work. So because he is the soul of the soul, he is Paramatma. And he also all pervading throughout this material cosmic manifestation. So he's pervading everywhere. Maya tatam idam sarvam. He's pervading everywhere in this universe by his inconceivable potency. Pashyame yogam aishwaram. So by his inconceivable potency, Lord is spread everywhere, and also Lord at the same time he sits in his own abode. Damna svena sada nirasta kuhukam satcham param dhimahi. Damna svena. So he's still in his Goloka Vrinda, in his own abode, Goloka Vrindavana, performing his pastimes. At the same time, he is all pervading everywhere, and also he is sitting in everyone's heart as Paramatma. So because these are inconceivable, we cannot even imagine how Krishna is doing like that. Achintya, we cannot, it is very inconceivable. And here the Lord entered womb of Uttara to save his beloved devotee Parikshit. So he became we were discussing like Angushta Matram. By became a shape just suitable for his vision to the Parikshit, because he cannot see the gigantic form of Krishna, so he became Angushta Matram, and he was visible to the Parikshit in that form, small form. So we know in Upanishads it is mentioned Anuraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. He is the same powerful, same all-powerful Lord, but he can bigger than what we can think of, and he can smaller than what we can conceive. That is what Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here. Anuraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. He can become bigger than what we can think of. So he is the supreme Brahman. What is Brahma means? Brahman means Brahatvat Brahmanatvat iti Brahma. So he is the biggest. No one can become bigger than him. So to demonstrate all these things, Lord has come like in the form of Vamana, in Vamana Avatara. When he came to take the positions from Bali Maharaj, he came like in that Vamana Avatara. With the first step, with his first step, he covered the surface of earth, surface of Bhumandala. Not only the earth means not this earth, so the whole Bhumandala. With the first step, he covered and the sky with his whole, and he covered the sky with his body and the directions with his arms. So we can't even imagine like how Krishna can do this because he is the supreme personality of Godhead. So with the first step, he covered the whole Bhuvandala and with the sky with his body and directions with his arms. And with the second step, he covered heavenly planets, and then he grew bigger and bigger and bigger and extended his foot up to from Maharloka, Janatapo, and up to Satyaloka, Brahmaloka. So Anuraniyan, Mahato Mahiyan. So now he is the Mahato Mahiyan. He can become bigger than what we can think of. We can't even imagine. If we say something is big, he can even become bigger than that. So he is the Supreme Brahman, Param Brahma. And also at the same time, he can become smaller than the smallest. But still he is the same powerful Lord. He can become smaller than the smallest. So when we say the measure of the length and breadth of our living entity, like the soul, is 1/10,000th part of tip of hair. Balagra Satabhagasya Satada Kalpitasya cha. Take the tip of the hair, cut into 100 pieces, and take again one tip and cut again into 100 pieces. That is the size of the soul. So that is the length and breadth of the living entity, is 1/10,000th part of the tip of the hair. But Lord even can enter into the heart of that soul. Imagine. So he is the smaller than the smallest. Anuraniyan, Mahato Mahiyan. Lord can do anything. So here now Lord became the measure of the thumb, and now which is suitable to the vision of the Parikshit Maharaj, and now Lord is saving Parikshit Maharaj from the greatest danger. So we know Lord assures in Bhagavad Gita, his devotees are never vanquished. That is his promise to the devotees. Kaunteya Pradijanehi Name Bhakti Pranasyati. So here the great devotee of the Lord Parikshit Maharaj is in the danger, Adibodhika, and he is in the danger of being killed by the Brahmastra. But now Lord is there to save him. So this is the Lord's promise. Name Bhakti Pranasyati. We know even in Gajendra's pastime, the Lord comes and saves him from the crocodile. And even in Prahlad Maharaj, the Lord incarnates as Narasimhadev, and he saves Prahlad Maharaj from Hiranyakashipu. So Lord assures his devotees are never vanquished. His devotees are always protected. Even in our lives, it might not be like the Lord would come in person and he would save us, but he is definitely saving us in some form, in devotees form or some other form. He is definitely saving us, because once we start chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Lord would save from us definitely. So that is why Lord assures his devotees, Name Bhakti Pranasyati. My devotees are never vanquished. And actually, Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he gives all this philosophy. It's like a theory, and Bhagavatam, it's a practical application. So Krishna, whatever Krishna assured in the Bhagavad Gita, now he is executing them in Bhagavatam. So those are now explained in Bhagavatam, described. Now Krishna is saving the Parikshit Maharaj. And also Srila Prabhupada mentioned here in the purport, no one can kill a devotee of the Lord because he is protected by the Lord, and no one can save a person whom the Lord decides to kill. So there are Srila Prabhupada also quotes very nice words from Bengali. Mare Krishna rake Krishna mare ke. If Krishna protects, who can kill? No one can kill that person. And if Krishna kill, who can protect? No one can protect. So Mare Krishna rake Krishna mare ke. So, and here as we discussed, so even though Krishna became a thumb-like Vishnu, thumb-like form, the thumb-like form here in the womb of Uttara is the Vishnu form, the same Krishna's form is the full-fledged, like there is no difference between this form and the Vaikuntha forms or Goloka Vrindavan. They are all same. That is what Srila Prabhupada mentions. There is no difference between the thumb-like Vishnu in the womb of Uttara and the full-fledged Narayana in the Vaikuntha. There is no difference. So he is the same powerful Lord. He can become smaller than the smallest. He can become bigger than the biggest. So there is no difference in his, in his potency. He is the same powerful Lord because he is merciful. So he wants to shower that mercy to the devotee. So, and so Srila Prabhupada mentions Lord is unlimited. He is not limited by any measurement of our calculation. We can't even measure that greatness of the Lord. So he is not limited by any measurement of our calculation. With our material minute senses, we cannot even think of that. He is adokshaya. He is beyond the perception of our material senses. And so similarly, actually Srila Prabhupada now is going to explain about the Archa Vigraha. Similarly, Lord wants to give his mercy to his devotees. He incarnates as Archa Vigraha. Archa Vigraha means Archa Avatara. This is also Avatar of Krishna. This is not different from Krishna. It is the same Krishna who is incarnating in the Archa Vigraha, deity form, in a form which is appreciable by a devotee. So Archa Vigraha. This is not at all different from Krishna. This is the same original Krishna. There is no difference between the original form of Krishna and Archa Vigraha. Even though this form is made of stula. Stula means material objects, such as stone in temple, we see metal, wood, jewel, or paint. Even though this is made of material objects, but it is same Krishna. Because for Krishna, there is no difference between matter and spirit. That is what Srila Prabhupada mentions in purport. There is no difference between the matter and spirit for the Lord. For although there is a gulf of difference between the two in the case of conditioned living being. For the conditioned living being, it is different, matter and spirit. For the Lord, there is no difference between matter and spirit. Even though he is in this stula form in Archa Vigraha, he is still same Lord. He is not different from his original form. So, because for the Lord, there is nothing but spiritual existence. So this Archa Vigraha form is a very, very merciful form for the conditioned living being to worship the Lord. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. So always think of me, become my devotee, worship me and offer obeisances to me. So how can we do that? How can a conditioned living being do that? So he should have some form. So that is why the Lord incarnates in this Archa Vigraha as the deity to accept the worship and obeisances of the devotees. Madhyajino, Madbhakto Madhyajino. Smam Namaskuru. So to worship the Lord and to offer the obeisances, Krishna incarnates as Archa Vigraha. Because the Lord is Bhakta Vatsala. He is very, very compassionate upon his devotees. So he accepts the service of his devotees in deity form. That is why. So he is very, very compassionate. The Lord's very nature is the compassion. If you take the sugar, the nature of the sugar is sweet. If you take the salt, the nature of the salt is salty. If you take the water, the nature of the water is sliding down. It flows down. Similarly, the Lord's nature, the nature of the Lord is compassion. He is the Karuna Sindhu. He is the ocean of mercy. He wants to give that mercy to his devotees. That is why he incarnates in this Archa Vigraha form. So and also all the great acharyas, so they worshipped the Lord. They established this temple worship. Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, all great acharyas, Nimbarkacharya, Vallabhacharya. So all the great acharyas established this temple worship. And actually, this is not idol worship. So this is actually, we all should understand this Archa Vigraha worship is not at all idol worship. For example, we see the Statue of Liberty in Hudson River. But that is a statue. That is not deity. In the temple, whatever we have is the deity, wherein, as per Agamas, Lord is invited through Vedic mantras, and the devotees are requesting Lord to come and sit there and to accept the service. So the Lord is established with Vedic mantras there. He is staying there. He is sitting there. He is receiving our services. Actually, Lord reciprocates with us through that form. But if you go and offer something to Statue of Liberty, it cannot reciprocate because it is just a stula, that is the material object there. But for the Lord, it is different. He is there. For the Lord, there is nothing but spiritual existence. He is sitting there. He will reciprocate with us. We know there are so many stories, especially in Sakshi Gopal's story about like Sakshi Gopal from Vrindavan, the deity, all the way walked from Vrindavan to South India, some village in South India, to shower mercy upon his devotee. So actually the deity reciprocates with the devotees. So there are many instances, even in Tota Gopinath, the devotee, in Gadadhar Pandit, he became very old. He was not able to do service properly to the Tota Gopinath, and actually he bends and he became a cross-legged deity, crisscross-legged deity, to accept the service from Gadadhar Pandit. So the deity actually reciprocates. It is not like that, like any other statue can become a deity. It cannot become a deity. So, and actually, especially in this Kali Yuga, people are going away from this deity worship due to impersonalism. So because of this impersonalism, and so this is actually in Kali Yuga, this deity worship is the most merciful form of worship for the devotees. So, but because of this impersonalism, Nirakara, people say Nirakara. Nirakara means, it doesn't mean that he doesn't have a form. He has no material form which we can see through our material eyes. That is what Nirakara means. It doesn't mean that he has no form. Actually, he has a spiritual form. The same spiritual form manifests in physical form to here in these stula objects to benefit devotees. People say Nirakara. For example, like even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was interacting with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Chaitanya Charitamrita, he actually refused this philosophy. Even Ramanujacharya, he refused this impersonalism, and Madhvacharya, all Vaishnava Acharyas, they like boldly condemned this Nirakara forms, Nirakara, impersonalism. So Lord has the beautiful form. Lord has Satchidananda Vigraha. Actually, in Vedas says the the Lord glanced over material nature. And before this cosmic manifestation, there was only Lord and there was a material nature. So by the glance of the Lord, the material nature, this whole cosmic creation was manifested. So it is clear, Vedas in I think Taittiriya Upanishad, it is said that the Lord's glance is the cause for this material creation. Then without the eyes, how could Lord glance? So that means even he has a transcendental eyes. He has a personal form. Actually, it doesn't mean that Nirakara means it doesn't mean that he doesn't have a form. He has a form, but he has no material form. So that is why, so we should understand these Vedas or Upanishads or these all these Puranas, we should understand from the Guru. Unless we understand from the Guru, spiritual, bona fide spiritual master, we cannot understand all these concepts. This impersonalism is a negation of this material forms of Lord, not a denial of his transcendental personality. So he still has a spiritual form. So Lord has form as Satchidananda Vigraha. So he is ever existing. He is fully knowledgeable, Ananda. He is fully blissful. So his form is Satchidananda. And also last week we were discussing about this Ishopanishad 15th verse in Sunday class. Hiranmayena patrena satchasapi hitam mukam tatvam pushan apavranum satcha dharmaya dushtaya. Here it is meant satchasapi hitam mukam. So devotees, they are praying to the Lord. Your real face is covered by dazzling effulgence. Mukam, here it is. That word specifically is mukam. Mukam means face. Please show your face to us. The devotees are praying to the Lord. So this is Isavasya Upanishad, is the first Upanishad of all the 108 primary Upanishads. So that Upanishad itself, it is mentioned, the Lord has mukam, face. And in the next verse, 16th verse, it is mentioned, Kalyanamaya Rupam. Rupam Kalyanamaya. So he has the auspicious form. He has the auspicious form, Rupam Kalyanatama. He has this blissful transcendental form. The same Upanishads, they are giving this kind of description. So these impersonalists, they take some words and they manufacture saying that Lord doesn't have form. No. So Lord has the beautiful transcendental form. So the same beautiful form is manifesting in Archa Vigraha. So he is accepting the service of the Lord. So actually we were discussing the Lord is Bhaktavatsala, is very compassionate. So that is why he is actually incarnating in this Archa Vigraha. And also the Lord in the Kali Yuga, Lord is incarnating, and another avatar is this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Harinam. So God is so merciful. He is giving all these discounts in this Kali Yuga because people are now disturbed or misled by many things in this Kali Yuga. The Lord is so merciful. And when the devotee actually gradually do the service to the Lord in this Archa Vigraha, when the Lord is satisfied, in due course of time, so that devotee, a neophyte devotee, can become an Ananya Bhakta, unalloyed devotee. So this Archa Vigraha is so powerful. And even this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, that is for this Kali Yuga, and this Archa Vigraha, one is Bhagavata Vidhi and Pancharatrika Vidhi. This should go together. Bhagavata Vidhi is like chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and Pancharatrika Vidhi is worshipping the Archa Vigraha of the Krishna. They would benefit the devotee, and with these two worships, so devotee would advance. And finally, Lord would accept the devotee as unalloyed devotee, Ananya Bhakta. He can become the associate of the Lord. He can go back to Godhead. And in this Archa Vigraha, there is one wonderful story, another wonderful story. You all must be knowing that. I will just repeat that. So there is a Brahmana who was very poor and who doesn't have money to do the service to the Lord. what he does is he started offering service to the Lord in mind. He was started offering food to the Lord in the mind with the gold parts, because even a poor man can do that with his mind. And he would bathe the Lord with the water by bringing the water from all the Ganga and all the sacred rivers, and he offers the sumptuous food to the Lord. And he does that daily. One day he cooks something in his mind and he was about to offer. He feels that it is so hard, and he puts his finger in that sweet rice. It's a sweet rice, so he puts his finger. So he feels, oh, his fingers are burned. So he was feeling that although he was offering it to the Lord within his mind, but he was feeling that his fingers are burned. So then finally, what happens? Chariot would come from Vaikuntha. Aeroplane would come from Vaikuntha would take him back to Godhead. So here, although he was offering food to the Lord within his mind, the Lord accepted it nonetheless. So that means the Lord is so merciful. So he would even offer, if you are very sincere, he would even accept our service within the mind. So that is like, even if it is difficult to offer through mind, so we can do it through Acha Vigraha. So that is the importance of this Acha Vigraha. So that is why Srila Prabhupada established, by the time he left this material world, he established 108 temples and Radha Krishna Vigrahas, so to benefit the devotees. And here Srila Prabhupada ends this purport with, for the Lord there is nothing but spiritual existence, and similarly there is nothing except spiritual existence for the pure devotee of the Lord in his intimate relation with the Lord. So similarly, for the pure devotee, he dovetails everything with Krishna. So for him also, there is no difference between matter and spirit. He dovetails everything with Krishna, and he sees everything in relationship with Krishna. For him also, there is nothing but spiritual existence. So with this, I would stop. Chant Hare Krishna and be happy. And as Srila Prabhupada mentions always, please take full advantage of this Krishna consciousness movement and finally come back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Thank you, and please forgive me for if I spoke anything wrong, for any offenses that I have committed. Please forgive me. Thank you. Please bless me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
Thank you so very much, Prabhuji. Wonderful session today. So, you gave very, details kind of about the Archa Vigraha, deity worship, and Krishna form. Krishna is form, having a very, beautiful form. You described very well in detail. So it was a really nice and wonderful, session. So I'll request to the devotees, if any comment, question, or if you have, you can unmute and you can go ahead, or if you like, you can raise the hand raise. So you can go ahead. Please unmute and go ahead. You can go for the comment, question, corrections, anything you like. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you very much for a nice class. And then, we all should know that sometimes, we think, oh, no, I don't have fruits, I don't have this. How can I offer anything? But like you said, mentally we can offer anything and he will accept it. And then we should be assured that he is there for protection anytime, anywhere where we are. Like, Parishit Maharaj, he was in the womb, but still he just became the thumb size, and then he came and protected. So that is the thing. Actually, I liked it, what you said, all this, and Achavigraha and other things. It is very important that, we human beings, we think, no, I don't have this, I have to go to the temple, and then I don't have deity at home, I don't have big one, small one. No, not all those things are necessary. What we think, what we just made the form in our mind, and we can do that. So that's very good thing you said. Thank you very much for nice class, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yeah, definitely. Krishna avasya rakshati. So Krishna would protect all of us, definitely.
Yeah, that's true.
Nice, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Highlighting the point. Yeah, so Prabhu has mentioned, like many good points, like about the Sakshi Gopal and Tota Gopinath. Sakshi Gopal story is very, very, interesting to understand and to learn, like how Lord reciprocates. So, that was the story of the two Brahmanas, right? One young Brahmana and one old Brahmana. Old Brahmana promised that he will give the hand of his daughter. And so Sakshi Gopal was the evidence for that. And
that is the Sakshi, he said, he did.
So in summary, he walked from Vrindavan to South India, and so deity reciprocates. So you pointed very well, like giving example, like a Statue of Liberty. This kind of a statue, there will be always a statue. So they are not kind of Vedic related any thing. They cannot reciprocate. There will be only a standing. But if when we say deity, so deity are with the Vedic mantra, means that prana pratistha. So that the living soul is there. He is the super soul there. And so all, like as Prabhupada goes in the temple, he said like, oh, deity looks are not taking proper rest. They have not given rest, and they have not given proper food. So at the different, really good, Prabhuji, you covered very all important points from the purport. Still, if we have any comment or question from any devotee, you can go ahead. Else,
thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, when we offer prasadam or when we take care of deities, we should think that we are doing to a person there. And like you offer food to your child, you will check for whether it is warm or whether it's hot or very hot or some cold. So same way, you should think of the deity also. Yes. You cannot say that it's a deity, she won't talk and whatever I can give it. So if you think that way, you will never do that wrongly.
Yeah, and also Srila Prabhupada mentions if you take care of deity, that temple will flourish actually. The temples, that's right. We see that very good deity worship in all the ISKCON temples. The temples will flourish. Thank
you very much.
Yeah, we have 100 from Kalpesh Prabhu. So go ahead, Kalpesh Prabhu or Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So thank you for today's class. Very much appreciate that. I have a question. Generally, when somebody starts doing the Archa Vigraha and deity worship, but there are different classes of people. In practical world, we see that one who likes to worship, but they don't like to share the God knowledge. They probably don't have the compassion. How does it? I don't even understand. Like, how can it be called even a bhakti if it is just having a deity in front of you, but not associating with unfavorable association? And trying to show the compassion for unfavorable association. That's what I mean. How do we really see and not restrain yourself from fault finding from others? Like you look at others and then you start, oh, he's not, he's that, or that is what it is, right? So all this combination, like if you are doing a sincere deity worship, which is a good stage, but not having the compassion, would it be called still a bhakti? Because I see it that way.
Yes, yeah. So if I understand your question, if you are doing deity worship, but you are not compassionate with others. Yeah, definitely. Lord Kapila, Bhagavatam answers this exact question. So Lord Kapila, when he was instructing to Mother Devahuti about devotional service, Lord Kapila says, if someone is seeing just Krishna in the deity form, and when he is envious about other living beings, if he is not seeing Krishna in other living beings, he is not a devotee. Actually, he is a Kanishta Adhikari. You should never do like that. So that is actually the deity worship is the first kind of form of worship. But we should see Krishna in all the living beings. If you are just doing deity worship and coming out and you are scolding someone, it is not good. If you are not good, compassionate with others, because Krishna is there in everyone's heart. As we were discussing, Krishna is the soul of the soul. Without him, no one would work. He is giving that, because we have to see everyone in connection with Krishna. If we see everyone in connection with Krishna, we love everyone. So unless we love everyone, we can't get that love of Godhead. So we should see everyone as the servant of Krishna. They are in connection with Krishna. So yeah, yes, that's right, Prabhu. So we should not just stop with deity worship. We should also love everyone. So deity worship is the first form of worship, and then the next level is to love everyone, to see everything in connection with Krishna. Once you start that, Krishna would automatically give that intelligence. Dadami buddhi yoga. So if you are sincere in your heart, definitely Krishna will help you to do that. Does that answer your question, Prabhu?
Yeah, I think so. I was like looking for that because I see a lot of examples people do that way, but and for like then when we try to convey it, the stages, then we kind of I struggle. So I want to hear from the senior devotees how they think about this. So thank you for enlightening this. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. So we have Donacharya Prabhu. So if there is any announcement, Prabhu, so go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhus. Thank you, Sesapati Govinda Prabhu, for a very nice class. Announcement for today: we have our Sunday feast program. Today is the concluding verse of the 7-part Ishupanishad series at the temple. So please come for this, especially if you've been following all along all of the different parts. You won't want to miss this last one. Also, this tomorrow's Ekadashi, and it's also the beginning of the Julan Yatra festival. So Monday through Thursday of this upcoming week, only 4 days a year where they bring Shri Radha Krishna off the altar and they swing. So if you come in the evening from at 6:30 is the Arti, and then right after the Arti, the swing festival will start. So this will go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And on Thursday is the appearance day of Lord Balaram. So it's a half-day fast on Thursday, and we will be celebrating that in the evening at the temple. So program begins at 6:30 on Thursday evening. So a lot to do this week if you want to come and participate in some devotional service. We hope to see you there tonight as well as throughout the week. Again, thank you, Sesapati Govinda Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Vanchakalpatarupyasya kripasindho
Patithanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo.